Friends, we'll start with the new chapter, that is chapter number 8, quadrilaterals, and it is one of the important chapter for your future point of view. So in this, you already know what do you mean by quadrilateral. Quadrilateral is basically a polygon which has four sides. See, if I take A, B, C, D is a quadrilateral where it has four sides, and based on its sides and angles, and we are going to name the quadrilateral in different way. Now, quadrilateral has four sides, it has two diagonals. What do you mean by diagonals? The line segment which is connecting two opposite vertices of a quadrilateral is nothing but a diagonal. See, there are two diagonals, that is AC and BD are the two diagonals of this particular quadrilateral. See, so if I want to list out the properties of quadrilateral, it has four sides. It has four sides. It has four sides. It has four vertices. Four vertices. And it has four angles. You see, angle A, angle B, angle C, angle D. It has four angles. And what I can say, and it has four vertices, four angles, it has two diagonals. Based on the relationship between the sides, angles, what we are going to do, we are going to classify quadrilateral into different types. So before that, the quadrilateral has four sides, four vertices, four angles, and two diagonals. So what is quadrilateral? Quadrilateral is a closed polygon. Is a closed polygon made up of four line segments. Four line segments. So the basic definition of quadrilateral, it is basically a closed polygon. It is made up of four line segments, and I have listed the different properties of the quadrilateral. Based on the different properties of quadrilateral, we are going to classify the quadrilaterals into different types. Now, we are going to study what are the different types of quadrilateral. See. Now, A, B, C, D. P, Q, R, S. L, M, N, O. I can call it as A, B, C, D. Next. J, K, L, M. M, N, O, P. See, based on the sides and angles arranged, there are the different types of quadrilateral. See, here in this quadrilateral A, B, C, D, one pair of sides are parallel to each other. One pair of sides are parallel to each other. Such quadrilateral, we call it as trapezium. One pair of sides are parallel, only one pair of sides are parallel to each other. We call it as a trapezium. Next, in this, opposite sides are parallel and equal. Opposite sides are parallel and equal. We call it as parallelogram. We call it as a parallelogram. Next. So if in parallelogram, two pair of opposite sides are equal, and one angle is equal to 90 degree, we call it as rectangle. What is there in this? Opposite sides are equal, pair of opposite sides are equal, and one of the angle is equal to 90 degree. Basically, it is a parallelogram wherein opposite sides are equal and one of the angle is equal to 90 degree. We call it as rectangle. Next, before this we'll go for C. JKLM. So in order we need to mention JKLM. See, all the sides are equal. We call it as rhombus. If all the sides of a quadrilateral are equal, we call it as a rhombus. And in rhombus, if one of the angle is equal to 90 degree, we call it as a square. All the angles are equal, all the sides are equal, and one of the angle is equal to 90 degree, we call it as rhombus, square. Next, if pair of adjacent sides of a quadrilateral, so two adjacent pair of a quadrilateral, see, PM is equal to PO, MN is equal to NO. So adjacent sides of a quadrilateral are equal, we call it as a kite. So these are the different types of quadrilateral. Please note it down. I think you already studied it in your previous classes. Just to recollect and recall, I have given a brief explanation regarding it. So please note this down. So based on the previous explanation, I have written 5 statements, and you need to give a reason. A square is a rectangle and also a rhombus. A parallelogram is a trapezium. A kite is not a parallelogram. A trapezium is not a parallelogram. A rectangle or rhombus is not a square. So try to answer. So try to pause the video and try to reason out why these statements are true. Or else, if you are not able to understand, please look at the board. A square is a rectangle and also a rhombus. See, in square, all the sides will be equal and angle will be equal to 90 degree. According to the definition of rectangle and rhombus, in case of rhombus, all the sides will be equal. So satisfied. In rectangle, opposite sides will be equal and one of the angle is equal to 90 degree. So in case of square, both the cases, see, rectangle and rhombus properties will be satisfied here. That is the reason square is a rectangle and also a rhombus. Next, a parallelogram is a trapezium. See, in case of see, this is parallelogram wherein opposite sides are equal and parallel. See, and they are telling that the statement is a parallelogram is a trapezium. See, what is the definition of trapezium? See, in quadrilateral, one pair of, see, if I want to call this as a trapezium, at least one pair should be parallel. One pair of sides should be parallel. In this case of parallelogram, two pair of sides are parallel to each other. That is the reason it is, see, parallelogram is satisfying the condition of trapezium. That is the reason a parallelogram is also a trapezium. Next. Third one, a kite is not a parallelogram. See, why kite is not a parallelogram? See, if you take kite, pair of adjacent sides are equal. In this case, not a single pair of sides are parallel to each other. So in case, if I want to call this as a parallelogram, so the opposite sides should be parallel to each other and they should be equal. But here in this case, opposite sides are not equal and are not parallel to each other. That is the reason kite is not a parallelogram. Next, a trapezium is not a parallelogram. See, trapezium, only one pair of sides will be parallel in case of trapezium, but in case of parallelogram, both the pair of sides are parallel to each other. That is the reason trapezium is not a parallelogram. Next, a rectangle or rhombus is not a square. Rectangle or rhombus is not a square. In case, see, if I want to call a figure as a square, all the sides of a square should be equal. All the sides should be equal. All the four sides should be equal. And one more thing, in case of rectangle, only opposite sides are equal, but here all the sides are equal. Next, in case of rhombus, the angle may not be equal to 90 degrees. See, angle may not be equal to, in case of rhombus, the angles may not be equal to 90 degree, whereas in case of square, one of the angle is equal to 90 degree. So that is the reason rectangle and rhombus are not square. Please note this down. Next, properties of a parallelogram. See, in that first property we studied as a theorem, a diagonal of a parallelogram divides it into two congruent triangles. See, if I take a parallelogram ABCD, see, opposite sides of a parallelogram will be equal. AB is equal to CD and AD is equal to BC. See, how they will be congruent? See, if I consider triangle ABD and triangle BCD, AB is equal to CD, AB is equal to CD and AD is equal to BC and BD is equal to BD. Yes. See, through triple S congruent criteria, triangle ABD is congruent to triangle BCD. That only they are telling a diagonal of a parallelogram divides the parallelogram into two congruent triangles. See, the name may differ. It can be LMNO or anything. So, if you draw a diagonal, it divides the parallelogram into two congruent triangles. So, even if you draw one more diagonal, ADC will be congruent to triangle ABC. So, this is one of the theorem. You need not prove, I just wanted to show you. That is the reason I gave a proof part. But you just need to know a diagonal of a parallelogram divides it into two congruent triangles. See, if ABD is congruent to triangle BCD, obviously opposite sides will be equal. That only I have written. See, in a parallelogram, opposite sides are equal. If this triangle is congruent to this triangle, obviously AD is equal to BC, AB is equal to CD. So that is the next theorem of the parallelogram. So please note this down. Next theorem, theorem number 8.3. If each pair of opposite sides of a quadrilateral is equal, then it is a parallelogram. See, it's exactly converse of theorem number 8.2. What does it states? Opposite sides of a parallelogram are equal. But what here they are saying, in case of 8.3, if each pair of opposite sides of a quadrilateral is equal, then we can conclude it as a parallelogram. Suppose if I take ABCD so already we know that triangle ADC is congruent to triangle ABC. This is from theorem 8.1. Theorem 8.1. Yes. Now, so opposite sides will be equal. Okay, so they're talking about each pair. Sorry. Directly I can't write this. If I take it as a parallelogram, directly I can write it. See what they're telling. If each pair of opposite sides, I have taken a quadrilateral. In this, opposite sides are equal. Opposite sides are equal. I don't know whether it's a parallelogram or not. See, consider triangle. Consider triangle ADC and triangle ABC. Fine. Now, so what they are saying, opposite sides are equal. AD is equal to BC. AD is equal to BC. It is given. Next, DC is equal to AB. This is also given. They are saying opposite sides are equal. And AC is equal to AC. It is a common side. AC is equal to AC is a common side for both the triangles. So, through Triple congruence criteria, so AD triangle ADC will be congruent to triangle ABC. Fine. So, if that is the case, angle BAC is equal to angle DCB. Now, see, we showed that angle BAC is equal to angle ACD or DAC. Sorry, angle BAC is equal to angle ACD. So, we proved that angle CAB or BAC is equal to angle ACD because these two are congruent triangles, then corresponding angles will be equal. Now what can I see? See, DC and AB are the two lines and AC is a transversal line, and these two will be alternate interior angles, and alternate interior angles are equal. That is the reason DC is parallel to AB. In the similar way, if I consider these, so triangle ADB and triangle DCB both will be congruent, and this angle will be equal to this angle. And again, what can I conclude? You see, if I take these two, AD and CB, and in this angle ACB is angle CAB is equal to angle angle ACD. So if I take AC as a transversal, this line is parallel to this line. Again, what I can say, AD is parallel to BC. Now see, both the pair of opposite sides are parallel and pair of opposite sides are equal. That is the reason we can conclude this as a parallelogram. Okay, we can conclude it as the proof part is not required, only you should know. So one more thing, and one more thing, if I take a parallelogram A, B, C, D, and we proved that it is a, so pair of opposite sides are equal, and then we conclude it as a parallelogram. See, we know that angle BAC is equal to angle ACD, and this angle is equal to this angle, and one more thing, what I can write, angle DAC is equal to angle ACB. Okay, now angle BAC plus angle DAC is equal to angle ACD plus angle ACB. Can I write? If I call it as equation 1 and 2, I'll add both the equation, then right hand side, I have added left hand side and right hand side. So DAC, see, DAC plus CAB will be equal to DAB is equal to ACD plus ACB. ACD plus ACB is equal to BCD. See, what I can conclude, in a parallelogram opposite angles are equal. See, even if you draw this, similarly we can prove angle D is equal to angle B and angle A is equal to angle C. We proved it. So in a parallelogram opposite angles are equal. Okay, So please note down 8.3 and 8.4. Next, theorem number 8.5, it is a converse of theorem number 8.4. What does it states? If in a quadrilateral pair of opposite angles are equal, angles is equal, then it is a parallelogram. See, if I take any quadrilateral, A, B, C, D, if opposite angles are equal, directly I can conclude that it's a parallelogram. This is one more property. In a quadrilateral, if a pair of opposite angle is equal, then we call it as a parallelogram. Next, the diagonals of a parallelogram bisect each other. You do one thing, draw a parallelogram like this. After drawing the parallel, what should it? You see, opposite sides should be equal and opposite angle should be equal. Then we call it as a parallelogram. Draw the parallelogram in such a way that opposite sides are equal and opposite angles are equal, and draw the diagonals. And if you measure, see, if this is a parallelogram, A, B, C, D is a parallelogram. So, and AC and DB are the diagonals, and they are intersecting at point O. So, if you take your ruler and measure OC and OA, OC will be equal to OA and OD will be equal to OB. So, what does it conclude? So, what can we conclude from this? See, we can conclude the diagonals of a parallelogram bisect each other. This is theorem number 8.6. Please note this down. And the last property of a parallelogram, that is theorem number 8.7. See, it's a converse of theorem 8.6. What does it states? So, diagonals of a parallelogram bisect each other. So, in case if you take a quadrilateral, LMNO, if you come across, see, MO and NL are bisecting each other, you can conclude this as a parallelogram. That only they are saying. If a diagonals of a quadrilateral bisect each other, then we call it as a parallelogram. Please note this down. And these all 7 properties are very important for our problem solving. So please note this down. Even in 10th standard, these properties are very important. We are going to apply these properties and we are going to solve the problem. Please note this down.